Welcome to another episode of the Woman Up podcast. I have a special guest today and I'm excited to introduce you guys to her. First, I just want to tell you guys this podcast is dedicated to our community, an online space where together we are navigating life, business, and all the messiness in between. This is not another women in business podcast where all we talk about is strategy and scaling. This is a place for us to connect beyond the hustle. So this is where you get all the personal stories, all the gossip, and just basically all the real life conversations. As always, if you want to know more about the community, just stay tuned. I'll tell you all about that later. But this is your reminder. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode. And if you're listening or watching on a podcast platform like Spotify or Apple, just hit the follow button for the same reason. So on that note, I want to introduce you guys to my guest. Welcome to the space, Victoria Azubuike.
Do I clap for myself? Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you. You should clap for yourself because I was like, I've had you on my list for so long of like ideal guests. So when you said yeah, I was like, oh, she said yeah.
Oh no, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm honoured to be here, so thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
How's everything going with you? You just landed from Atlanta, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
like literally called me. I literally just landed 6 a.m. in today from Atlanta, Georgia, so caught a red eye. But I'm like pumped. Like,
Yeah.
we have sun here in the UK. Like, we never have sun.
Yeah,
I think that, and I've just come from, it was raining a lot there. So I'm just like so excited to be back.
Amazing.
And excited to like that I can walk a bit. Like, I haven't been able to walk for, on the streets a lot for the last like 4 months. But I'm so excited to be back.
Yay.
Yes.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
Thank you.
We're going to get into all of that Atlanta juicy stuff in a minute, but for people who don't know you, maybe just tell us like who you are and what you do.
I'm Victoria Azubuike. I am the founder of She Who. I am super passionate about supporting us women, elevate our life, and just execute our dream goals and vision. And part of that, actually, I love being between the UK and the US, growing my brand where I sell luxury planners, and I brought one of them with me. Oop.
I love this.
It's really used, but luxury planners to really support us on our journey. I love hosting community. I love hosting different kinds of events to support us, and just also documenting my life, because I feel as someone who's building her dream life, creating things for her dream life, there's no better way than bringing others along the journey. So I love doing that.
Yeah, I love these. Can I have a look at one of these?
Yeah, of course. And we have the brown as well. Like, absolutely.
And this is a yearly planner.
Yes, it's an undated 360 yearly planner, and I love it because it comes in this.
I love that colour.
Yeah, box.
Oh my God, that is like my colour.
Yeah, literally. But I love it, and so it's really big and really popular, goes viral, which is great. But apart from, building the brand, I love just like, exploring the world and living life truly on my own terms.
Yeah. So you're the founder of She Who.
Yeah.
And just if you had to describe like what She Who is, what is that?
It's a movement made for us women, bringing us together to really understand how we can elevate in life using tools like the planner and coming together in great events. I do a lot of pop-up events and different events, bringing great women together. And we actually have like our next one. I've decided, because I've been in two minds, if I'm being honest, about whether bringing out an event back. I love events. I've been doing events for like a few years, but I wasn't sure this year, but I've decided I'm gonna do one in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, like I've like literally decided this week.
I can't I first heard of you through one of your events actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Should I tell you a story actually?
I want to hear the story.
Okay.
Tell me.
So, because I feel like when you're building something, sometimes you don't know like the little stories, because like you're growing your following, so like you can see your analytics and like there's so many big things that we're looking at, but sometimes you don't get like the little impacts that you're making. So basically, you did an event here in London, She Who Elevates event.
Yeah. So She Who Builds.
She Who Builds. Yes. Yeah, that was it.
I love that event.
I saw it on Eventbrite and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And then I saw your page, started following you, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm going to go to this event. This is like so me. And then I had just split up with someone and we were together for like 6 years. And I was going through like a really rough time. So this was like a month and a half after the breakup. And I remember reading the email for the event and it said, for the dress code, come as like whatever represents your brand. And that was the first time after my breakup that I had to ask myself, like, who am I? Like, just me? Like, no story, no couple, no like part of a partnership, like just me. How do I represent myself? And like, I felt like I was going through like this period where I was like feeling like I had let go of myself in this relationship. And so I was on this journey again of like rebuilding myself. So I actually bought like a whole new outfit for this event. And I was like, I don't really know like who I want to be and like how I want to show up and whatever. So that event was like a really important milestone for me because it was like my first step into being my own woman again. And then at the event, it was just great. Like, I connected with so many people, and I didn't get to meet you like in person, but I think I just wasn't ready. Like, I was going through so much that I was like, I don't feel like I'm ready to like introduce myself right now. But everything about that event was just like such a pivotal moment for me. And I was like, I don't think that Victoria would know like all of these little stories that happen at her events that you just never know like how much you're impacting someone.
Oh my gosh. Because that is wow. Thank you so much for sharing that because that dress code. So I'm gonna be so real. Like I have seen, and especially actually in the US, there is like this big thing of having dress codes where it's like color coordinated.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. In the UK, like come in blazers and such. Not knocking. I'm not knocking anyone down because at the end of the day, we're all entitled to create and live our own truths and create our own spaces. But for me, I was like, I've always been like, I hate like I feel like my life has kind of always been like people want me to do certain things and because of that I'm just like leave me alone. And I don't want anyone to be in my room. Obviously like it's a nice experience. Like, I like to make it look elegant and nice, but I don't want anyone feeling like they have to look a particular way.
Yeah.
You get the vibe from my events, but it's up to you to show up in your own unique way. So I've always like I literally like that means so much to me because there's been so much thought into like come as you are because you can only be the best version as you are
when you're comfortable as you are. Yeah. And I realized that at that point I didn't really know who I was because I was like, I'm starting fresh. It's like a clean break for me. And I was like, I don't really know who I am. So I had to like ask myself who I am to come to your event, which was like a milestone in itself, like just on my personal development journey. So I was just like, this is mad. Like you wouldn't think just from like reading about the dress code that you're gonna like go through a transformation, if that makes sense.
Wow, I'm not taking that lightly. Wow.
Yeah.
But big up to you. Like I'm so happy for you that you went on that your own journey because some people different things hit different people, right? It could be in my event, it could be something else, it could be like just hearing one word from something. So I'm just so amazed and I will never forget this.
Oh,
I will never ever
I'll never forget that event as well.
That was a good event.
It was such a good event. Yeah.
I was just like, I wouldn't have like who don't want to do great. Like that was a really like for me, like I really wanted to. That was always a dream event I wanted to put on. So,
yeah. Are you gonna do another event in London? Do you think?
That's a good question. So like for those of you who are thinking, so she who we do like these like big conferences and so I've scaled back because I'm gonna be honest. Like I went to a point like last year where I think I just poured so much into events and just like became exhausted and I was going through a lot personally. So I was just like, this year I want to focus a lot on product and I love product, but there is nothing like the transformation that happens bringing women together, and I feel like that community aspect, like the networks and the relationships or like the life changing moments, like like you mentioned with the dress code, happens in spaces like that. So I love it. Wherever, like, that was my first and has been only first and has up to this point my only London event. I honestly, I don't want to sit here and say like I want like London's great, but I'm not too sure. It's always gonna be my home. I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say right now it's definitely yes. So I'm not too sure.
Okay. We have to just all keep our
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
But when I do, and if it will be an event to remember.
Yeah.
I like to go all out. It's like, for me, it's either like you go all out or I don't want to do an event. Going all out requires a lot of energy, but I love it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you start She Who in the first place?
Good question. Let's like backtrack, right?
Okay.
So that's because I feel like especially when we're entrepreneurs and building, it's always things that we do is a combination of like, our joys, what we love, what brings us happiness. And for me, so I'm first, the one of five. I'm the oldest daughter. There's four girls. So I've always been around young. And if you know anything about like being the oldest, there's in a Nigerian household, you're almost like the second mom, right? And then I had a lot of female friends growing up, but I really struggled growing up seeing other like-minded, like not even because I didn't know the term like-minded, it's just now a buzzword, but I struggled to see examples in my community. Like I lived on a council estate in North London, Islington, and I just struggled. Like everyone, like there's a lot of like teenage pregnancies, or just you don't see a lot of good examples. And me and my sisters, we would sell cakes every Saturday.
I love
consistently.
this. Yeah.
From 10 till I think I was like 15. I would sell cupcakes. So and that taught me so much because no one was like forcing me to do this. It was just the fact that I needed money and I was young. So on Saturdays, we'd wake up 8 a.m., go to Sainsbury's, get everything we need and sell and save all our money to the Christmas time. So you gain that early, like, entrepreneurial ability. So I was like the team lead almost. And you have to deal with like rejection or like people saying, no, I don't want this.
Where were you selling them?
Like literally outside our estate.
Oh, I love
so the
it.
buses would go by.
Yeah.
And I would be like to come to people like, come get my cakes, come get a cake. And then my sisters would all turn around when the buses are coming because they were like, why are we selling cakes? And then we'll do ice lollies in summer. So, and then we'll do Christmas caroling in winter. But that always built up like my like just hunger to like find or build a business that I love, right? But then I love and still like really supporting and helping women. And I was working at the time, like when I was 15, I had like a co-producing job at my youth club. So the youth club would hire young people and call them co-producers. So you would like produce activities, but you'd also still get paid. And I remember just seeing a lot of the young girls, the boys would all do basketball and like sports, and the girls would just be around the youth club waiting for the boys. And I just asked them like, what do you want to do when you're older and stuff? And some of them like lawyer or this and that. And you think to yourself, she doesn't have a plan. So will just end up being a dream because there's no guideline or blueprint for her. So then I was like to myself, maybe I can do something that can like help. I don't know I don't know. But like that, at least if we can hear from other women, then maybe that would help. So what I did is that I had at the same youth club, I organized like a conference.
Okay.
A year later when I was at uni, and I was thinking to my friend, what could I call that? What could I call that? I didn't even know what the term conference was. Okay, so it was just like, let's just pack out my youth club.
Yeah.
Let's bring 5 women in different industries together. We had a doctor, we had a YouTuber, we had someone like that. Maybe I did an internship at the time. It's like, what could I call that? What could I call that? And I was like to my friend, I got it. She Who Leads. So that was my first event in 2016. She Who Leads. And then I've gone on and I did at every stage of life. So that was like I needed that. I was 16, I was navigating. And then I would do events for like when I was in uni, for uni students or like younger kids. And I ended up helping like over, I think it was called Us Program at the time, 3,000 women, young women. And then I turned that into then I went to uni, graduated, and I was working in different jobs, advertising for a bit. From advertising I went to PR, and I was just like to myself, I can't do the 9 to 5. It's just not for me. It had never, people, I would complain all the time. I was like, what is this? And I decided, that was beginning of COVID, for 1 year. My mentor was like, think about, like, actually, what's your next step?
Yeah.
You want to build something yourself. So then I decided, actually, I'm going to take a leap. And I quit. I've been working, like, in the corporate world for, like, at this point, I was working at a recruitment company for 2 years or 3 years. I can't remember. 2022. I quit. And then I started a recruitment agency, all focusing on having events that would attract talent for organizations. So organizations would come or host an event, a She Who event, and it would be their talent pool. It would be a fun and a different kind of way to do it. And I remember at the time that came about because I was doing events with different companies, and then I would get a call later with like, Victoria, you helped me get a job with that company. Like, thank you so much. I was like, that's amazing, but I could be getting paid for this. I could.
Yeah.
And I love it, right? Again, like, I feel like entrepreneurship, like, part of it is your joys and finding things that work well. I was like, I love it, and I could be getting paid. So then I started a recruitment agency, and I said to myself, I'm going to scale this to 6 figures. And day and night, I was talking to my friend about this, actually, we met. I would just think 100,000. This is coming from a girl who was on a 22K salary. So what is 100K? Like, what? But I was like to myself, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like day and night. And I started that business on the 13th of February. And then I hit 100K on the 11th of November.
I love that.
I think it was 7 days before my birthday. And then build out like the She Who events, bringing women together and products from that in America. But the She Who really started from just being a young girl who wanted more. And I couldn't find that, so thought, let's create.
Yeah. So now you don't do the recruitment anymore, do you?
Yeah. Miss said, I don't want to be a recruiter. I said, I do not want to be a recruiter. So if we're not going to be a recruiter, I am not.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I had to understand it's okay to pivot. It's okay to, like, I always think, like, what's the long-term plan? Can I see myself doing this for 10 years? How scalable is it? And for me, recruitment was a great platform to test out an idea, to see that I can, to build, like, understand the fundamentals of building a service-based business, and then just build the runway, like the capital to start going to America. So I used a lot of that, if not all of it, to like start flying to America a lot and building.
Yeah. What is this like? I'm not obsession, but like, what happened in America, and like, why were you so like drawn to doing stuff in America?
America, that's its own. So I've started to go America since 2022. No, 2023. So it was May, because this is May, so it's coming up to my 2nd year anniversary. So I started, before I had gone to America once for an internship when I was like 16. But I started going to America, believe it or not, because I watched Married to Medicine. And Married to Medicine is like a show in Atlanta, and it's like, that was the first time I remember it coming up on YouTube, and it was the first time I had seen like successful black people in big houses in like and I was just like, what is this show? I literally binged that show, I think, in like 2 days, or 8 seasons. And I was like, I was like, wow. And that was Married to Medicine Atlanta, and literally from there I just researched Atlanta. And I remember at the time, I think me and my 2 friends, we did a girls' trip to Jamaica, and I was just talking like, I really want to go to America. I had a big part of my audience from America. I really want to go. I really want to like just learn and just see like, and again, when it comes to, I think a big part, when you are an entrepreneur and building, I feel like the UK can limit you. And the UK, there are still so many great women building in the UK, but there is the American mindset, the American ethos when it comes to business and entrepreneurship is a whole different game.
Yeah.
Like, I remember someone telling me, like, they literally believe, like, the sky is not even the limit. Like, the universe is the limit. And you see that in the way that they move, in the way that they do business, in the way that they operate, in the way that money is, like, you know, how access to resources and how many people are starting businesses. And I just thought to myself, I want to give it a go. So I literally called it Project Fly Away. And I flew away in the 6th of May, 2023 for 3 weeks.
With no plan.
Oh, I said to myself I was going to go to 3, so I booked Orlando. Because I remember before this, I really wanted to do this with my friend, and I told her. And then I'll always be looking at flights on Skyscanner. We're like, nah, maybe another time. But I went for a conference. I went to a TGX conference in Orlando. I think also you shouldn't just do things for the sake of doing things. I think you should have a plan to maximize what you're doing, because it's not a cheap ticket. So, and you have to look for hotels and different stuff. And bearing in mind as well, like, I know no one in America. I have no family really in the States I was going to.
Yeah.
Don't really know anyone. Like, so it's not like I'm not gonna waste my money. I want to make sure if I'm going, finding things to do, go to events.
Hey ladies, quick pause. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. As mentioned earlier, if you want to be part of our community and be the first to know when we launch, connect with us on Instagram or join the email list. Both links are in the description. We're going to have monthly guest speakers, live check-ins, accountability group, and even some in-person meetups happening throughout the year. And I personally can't wait. I know this business journey can feel lonely at times, but you don't have to do it alone. Connect with us and join the movement. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, so like I just went. And then I hosted like a mini brunch in New York.
I love
and I
this,
remember I remember that was like my first like brunch, and I was like, wow. But really and truly, I just said to myself, like, it's now or never. It's like, since I quit my corporate job, it's either you sink or you swim, but you figure it out. And America was like a game changer.
Yeah.
Figuring out.
Yeah, because I saw when you started posting, you were doing a tour, like an events tour. How did that even come about? Because I was like, wait a minute. 1 minute she's doing one event in London, and next she's doing, how many events did you do in like 1 year?
Yeah, so I aimed for 8, but then like I actually did 3 and changed the plan. I said I'm gonna put off like the rest. I'm not gonna do the rest anymore. But I did 3 or 4. I did 4 that year.
But you didn't know anyone in any of these places.
I was just like, I was like to myself, and that's the thing. I feel like because we're on our devices. We don't have like the content or people or our followers in front of us. And I've just kind of been the kind of person that I just don't think embarrassment is real. Like, I feel like you have to. If you look at the greats and people that actually succeeded, they have tried and they fell on their face and they figure out and they keep on going. I feel like why a lot of us keep ourselves stuck is because we're so consumed on like looking like things are working instead of trying to make things work. And I was like, I have to try and make this work. And the more that I do, the more like data I will get to see whether if this is something that like the American like women in America want or if they don't want it. And I realized like it's a whole different market. It's a whole different way of doing different things out there. But like I was doing the right thing.
But then how do you like fund something like that if you don't have a job, so you're working solely on your business, you're doing all this traveling, you obviously need accommodation, you need like even events itself. People that are in events know that in like your first few years you don't really make that much money because it's all about growing and scaling and all that. Like, how do you sustain this and like make your business work?
It is hard. This is the real. Like, sustaining events is hard. Like, events they are huge overcosts, and that's why I said like I've scaled back on how many events, and I've changed the strategy on the kind of events you've done. So it needs to serve a real purpose to why you're doing it, or then it becomes like an expensive hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're not making profit. But again, like I said, to fund the whole US expansion, because you know it's not cheap. Like going to Atlanta, you know, off peak, you could be looking upwards of like £800. That's just for the ticket, and then looking for accommodation. But again, remember I said that I had scaled my business to 6 figures, and I took that back. I could have like invested and got in like, you know, a down payment, like, or invested in property or invested in different like things. But I said like part of it, a big substantial amount, was to fund me going to America and to me learn and to me see. And I remember I would sometimes always be in my room and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Like, and I had this at this time knew no one that was like you'll like directly have like people who quit their 9 to 5 close to me. So it was hard. Like, it was really hard. Now I'm glad that like I have a lot more friends who've like taken the leap and doing a lot more things, like building. But I remember I would sit and I was thinking, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And I always say to myself, but you never know unless you try. Like, you are the one that's writing this unique story. You don't really have any close examples. And one thing about me, if I see someone who's on there doing something similar to me, trust me, I will soak. I will find every podcast that they're on. I will research everything. I will know their mom's name. And I couldn't find. So I had to just trust myself, but more importantly, trust God. Like, I'm a Christian and my faith is such a big player in like who I am. Like, trust God, like put this burning desire in me and he would sustain me. Like, so I would fund a lot using it. But I'm telling you, there were hard times where I was just like one time, actually, I'll be so real. I went to US, I had bought my ticket. This is so real. I had at that time £200 in my account when I was flying out.
Wow.
£200 going to the US. And I was just like, and I was going for 3 months. And I was going for 3 months. And also, I was, again, Atlanta, where you need to know how to drive. I have no car. I had no car. And I was not even staying in, like, downtown Atlanta where you can walk and you can at least, like, you know, there's different forms of, like, transportation. I was, like, far up in Marietta, like, some, like, far, like, the suburbs. I was trusted God. I was like, you put this desire in me. Like, I have the faith. I believe. And I went. I knew I was going to get money, like, in a month coming out. But I didn't know how I was going to sustain myself. My friend said that I could stay at her house. I just needed to cover, like, the basics. I could cover that. Then travel, I would only really go out if I needed to.
Yeah.
And then, like, I made an incredible friend who, like, really supported me. And, like, would take me places.
I love that.
When, I needed to and really, really helped me out. And then the money came and then it was just like things fell into place. And in 3 months, and I felt like I could even stay out longer, but I'm just such a big believer in, and I know this doesn't work for everyone. This is not what we're told. It's not the conventional way of doing things, but I feel like sometimes you see people that do things differently, they get different results. So I was just like, this is my dream. I'm the only one that can bring this to life.
Yeah. At what point were you like, okay, now I want to focus on products instead of events?
Nice. That's a good question. I think I got to the point where I was doing my events and at my events, sell merch. So I was doing my events, I sell merch at my event. And then I was just like, it's crazy because I've always been a planner kind of person. I love planning out. I remember like, for actually a long time with the UF program, I wanted to bring out a journal. And I'd always think about it. I'd tell the team and then the idea would die down. But I thought to myself, I'm just going to try. Like a 2024 planner, let me see how it goes. But I'm literally all about aesthetics. Like packaging is so important to me. It has to feel like, wow, this is more than just a planner. Like, you know, I just said that 2024 towards the end, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Let's actually bring out something that women can carry and they can look with the quotes and the way that it's written out, and it can really support them on their journey. And pull it out, went on TikTok and it went viral.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, it went viral. It actually went viral because for not the best reason, but it helped. There was a bit of a mistake in it. We fixed that. But yeah.
What do you mean?
There was a spelling mistake and people caught it. And you know, TikTok, they will run with everything. But you live and you learn. And then I said to people, like, you know, the first year I was the one that was like pulling everything together and, you know, but I've learned that you need a team, like, and there has to be protocol. So now everything, you won't see any issues with it now. But and And that's part of She Elevates, right? We're elevating, we're building, we're learning, and we're figuring out as we go along as well.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. But yeah, it went viral, and then I did another few different jobs, brought out the new color, and then again, like this year went viral, and I was just like, do you know what? I really want to double down. I've always known that like I've wanted like to do products. Like that, there was this thought inside me. I would love to have a warehouse, and I would love to sell. And I love that. There's no better feeling than someone saying like they gave it to their friend as a gift, a birthday present, or they're using it themselves, or me writing in it. It just feels so special, so new. That was always something I wanted to do.
Yeah, because I was like, how do you make the product thing work when you're like traveling so much as well? And I'm guessing people in the US order, and then people in the UK order, and I guess in other countries maybe as well.
Yeah.
And like, how do you even make that work?
Oh yeah, now it's like there's a team behind it. So like we have the US side team that manages the US orders, and then like the UK, because it's to be in both places at once. It's a lot, especially when like, you know, when our peak season is like towards the end of the year, there are like, you run into issues. I've had so many different issues. I've had like 100 of these go missing. I've had we had like more orders in the USA at one point. We had to ship loads over there. So there's constantly like different issues, but you just make it work. And to make it work, sometimes you have to realize that you have to get a team behind you. You can't just do everything by yourself. So
yeah. I was going to ask you that as well, because when I look at your content, I'm always like, does Victoria have someone just following her around with a camera all the time? Because you just have content all the time.
Not like this, like, you know, so I have like my tripod and then taking it. But yeah, when I'm in the US, I have help a lot. In the UK, I don't know, I haven't been back since January, so can't remember. No, my street interviews as well, I would have help. But now with this camera, you can do a lot of things by yourself. Like one of my videos that did really perform well on Instagram recently, I did that by myself. But there are peaks definitely to having someone to support you, especially when it comes to scaling, because you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You become so exhausted, you know?
It's also like lonely a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you had any moments where you're just like, oh my God, why am I doing this?
How raw do we want to get on this podcast? How raw?
No, what? All of it. I want all of it.
Do I? Yes, sir. Then sometimes I'm thinking like, why am I doing this when I could literally, you know, like, why? Like, why? There are moments like I'm like, why? It could be easier. Is it worth the tears? Is it worse? And it is lonely. And you start to see as you build a business, like things change automatically, because you have different conversations, you have a different mindset, so you're attracting different. But with that being said, it does get lonely and there are hard moments, but I would not change this for the world. I would not change. And it's so crazy. Like I was coming into central London today and I'm like, I'm so happy that like I get to choose this. Like I don't have to go and work a 9 to 5. Like, and you know, no, like, you know, some people absolutely love that. Some people don't like it.
Yeah.
But I've chosen the life that I want. And it doesn't mean, okay, I work 24/7. I work a lot. But on that, I'm choosing this. Yeah. Like I chose to like fly in this morning and then go home, see my mom, speak to my sisters quickly, and then come here. Like that's my life.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, are you sure you want to do it?
You're a little bit crazy. So I do think I've gone missing a bit. Like I'm a little bit cray, but no, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, and then I get to like next week, I'm off for like I'm going to take the rest of May, go around Europe.
I love that for you.
Yeah, just have a good time. Eat loads of like carbs. Yeah, like I'm just so excited. Like and that's the craziness about it. Like I see like the life I'm building. Like I spend a lot of time in the US, but then I can still come back to the UK, and then you can travel. You have the luxury to go to Spain or to go places that are or Italy that are so close by. But you know, when I'm in the USA and you're in one part of the world, going to Spain is like, wow, like that's an expensive trip. But and that's one thing I'm learning. Like, you have to be so grateful for the opportunities of all those who have gone before you to make the path easier for you, or who have shown you what is feasible and possible.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder, guys, while you're here, if you have a podcast or a podcast idea brewing in that little brain of yours, I would love to support you. I currently have a mini course that helps you tackle the top 3 things that I hear that stops people from launching their podcast. I've also got other resources to help you launch or grow with ease. No more stressing over editing or strategy. I've got you. Just connect with me on Instagram and let's chat about how we can bring your podcast to life. It is time to stop procrastinating on this one. Okay, let's get back to the episode.
Tell me about like one experience where you were like at a low point where you just thought, oh my God, like, how am I getting out of this?
I had I definitely think when 100 of my orders went missing. So that was,
I think I followed that on your stories. Yeah.
That was really hard, like mentally for me. So that was the first time I had ever sold out on a collection. So this is from when I can post. I can post. I love it. I feel like posting is a bit of a... So imagine you've just sold out and a quarter of those, right, have gone missing. And that's 100 orders that have already been taken, added onto the busiest time of the year. And
they were missing like with
overseas,
the courier service or something.
Yeah, it was a mistake on like I have to take responsibility, even though I didn't commit the mistake. It was because of like the actual logistics handling from my side, where on 7 of the boxes, we had 7 boxes coming from the US to the UK, and the labels weren't correct. So instead of 7 individual labels, there were the same label 7 times.
Oh, I see.
So it was only 1 box. So I'm like excited. I've got like expecting like, you know, a few more boxes coming, and then only 1 box came. And that was really difficult. One of my friends' wedding was there, and I remember I had the full set of eyelashes, and then by the time her wedding came around, like I had like, they were like just missing. Aww. I was crying so much because it was just like, there was a lot of pressure. It was like, it was the busiest time of the year. I had no way of tracking them. All these orders. How, like, what am I gonna do? But it all worked out. Thank to God. But it all worked out, and part of that I just learned that like, you gotta push through, because it worked out, because I also ended up having to go to the FedEx depot and like speaking to them and saying like, I know my boxes are in here, like please help me. And this is like a depot where it's like 30,000 boxes in it.
Wow.
They're like, there's no way we can track it. Yeah. I was like, there's nothing we can do, sorry. And it's Christmas Eve. That's the worst time to be shipping anything. I was like, I know it's here. I started crying the whole place down. And again, that's why I say like, embarrassment, you can't be like, I cried the whole place down. And because they would have told me that stuff, unfortunately, you just have to wait, there's nothing we can do. But I was like, I leave for the US in 2 days. I need to ship these planners out. Please, can you check? And I was there waiting for like a few hours, not knowing. I was like, remember like being cuddled up on their chair, like just crying. And someone came by and it was just like, darling, don't worry, they'll find it.
So people started looking for it?
Yeah, they got their whole team to search. Because I was shouting, I was like, please, I know it's here. I know it's here. And they ended up finding 6 boxes in the warehouse of like 30,000. They just went by what it looked like. So that was a hard time. And another hard time a really hard time was my first year. And I brought someone on full time. She quit her job to join me. And I couldn't sustain her. That was really hard. Yeah. I had a migraine at the back from crying like for 2 weeks straight. Yeah. And even me saying like I had the migraine, it's not about me. Like it was her. Like, you know, it was tough because someone has letting people go can be so tough. Because they believed in your idea and they like trusted you and you had to let them go. But I learned a lot and I had to mature and I had to take ownership again of what I did and my mistakes. But at the end of the day, that comes with building, you're learning, you're growing, and yeah.
Are you still connected with her?
No, I don't think she likes me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think she likes me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, I did try to make sure that like she was supported. I really tried to make sure that like it ended well. I gave her like, enough time to find a new job and make sure I paid her for that time. So just didn't let her go like that. But, some people take things personally into heart. But you do your best. You try to do your best. You take ownership. You learn. And you keep saying, but also it's business. Like nothing is personal.
Yeah. What about like a biggest moment where you're like, oh my God, this is why I'm doing it?
Oh, good question. A biggest moment of this is why I'm doing it. I think it was the feeling when I did my summer summit in Atlanta, not knowing no one and having 200 women in a room that came through that event. And I remember that event. So it was my last summer summit. It was a big event. Like I went all out for that event. And, people even today still talk to me. We had the great speakers. The room was gorgeous. We had like different things going on in the room. But I think more so it's just a reminder that like you really said you wanted to do this. And despite not having the resources, despite not like knowing how, despite like struggling and like, not having a car at the time and not knowing how to drive, and like you figured it out. And to do any event is hard, but in another country you're not from and you don't know anyone, like that was a big moment for me. And I remember as well on that day, because I had literally put the wrong eyelash glue on, so I had a swollen eye during the whole event. No one really knew because like I tried to cover up, but my eye, like I couldn't see out. I was doing an event and I couldn't see out of that an eye. Like my event was, the eye was just it was dripping. Only if you came super close to me, you'd be like, what happened? I was practically dizzy throughout the whole event because of my friend had to, one of my ambassadors had to go and get me like an allergy tablet, but my eye was dripping. I remember my hairstylist was doing my hair in the beginning and he was just like, he was looking at my eyes like, and I had to power through like every hour instead of like something that I love my events, but I was more so like, I just need to stay in another hour. And you have to show up and be your best. Yeah. But it's so funny because when you look at the pictures, all my pictures were taken from the side. But it turned out to be an amazing event. Yeah. And I just couldn't wait to take off those lashes. But yeah, that was wow. Yeah.
That's amazing that you had 200 people, considering you're not even from that place. And that's amazing.
But it was intense. Like it literally, it was intense. That event was tense. That was good. There was a lot of praying, but after that event, that's why I think I was very deflated after, because 200 people even in my UK events, that's a achievement. But 200 people and you're not from, it's a whole different like mindset you have to go.
Yeah. I feel like you come across like you're always just like on another mindset though.
I feel like experiences help me to understand how to like push myself. Like even this trip where I've stayed the longest in America, right? You are now, it's kind of like new levels, new devils, right? You have new things and new targets, and that does require you to like expand. And then you meet new people, you have new conversations, and then you be like, thinking so small, like I can do this or I can think this, so it just expands. Or you have experiences where you get off a plane and then you come to a podcast studio. Not advising for everyone, but again, I'm always a believer you should know yourself and your body. But then you realize like I can do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's just different experiences that you're just like, wow. So what happens is it's like a muscle, right? Your mind just, that muscle starts to grow. And your mind just expands and expands to the point where like, when you're working out and you feel that pain. And a really good friend of mine told me like, when you work out, you feel that pain. Next time your body tells, like, we need to prepare for that, like to take that pain. And before you know it, instead of lifting like 20 kg like me, you're lifting like 100, and it's like, you've expanded your horizons and your mindset because you were in new environments, stretched you. Yeah. We have new people around you. Oh, you've considered this or you consider that. And that's what, like, for me, the US does to me really a lot.
Yeah. I think traveling in general, I think, does that as well.
And you realize, like, again, how much you have. Like, when you're from London or a British citizen, you just realize we take for granted so many things. Like the social currency we have from being born in this part of the world, like it does you justice, different places.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot as well, like people moving to Dubai.
Yeah.
And they're just like, because I went in January.
Oh, nice.
And the conversations are just different over there. I feel like there's something happening in the UK right now where there's no like spark, there's no fire.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like how it's like the UK, like when you actually think of it, like the land that we're living on, right? There are different laws that govern different land. Like the UK is known for like, the monarchy and like royalty. But with that also comes like being conservative. And like playing it kind of safe or not speaking or being, subtle about things. But then you go into Dubai is very new and exciting. So it attracts very excited or new opportunities. Whereas the US is all built off the American dream. So on that land, it's like anyone who wants to come and because you're willing to make it. So there's different laws that govern like different lands. And I think it's just very interesting. I think the UK, but within that, like the UK, I do think, like, if you're an entrepreneur, if I'm being honest, like, from what I've seen, like, it's so good to spend time in different parts of the world, just exploring or just even understanding your customer, right? Or growing your mindset. But, like, knowing that you are a British citizen or you are from the UK, it, like, serves you so well in so many different countries.
How has it helped you with like US stuff?
Like, firstly, like your accent.
Yeah, I know.
You cannot like it's, you because you stand out. I go to the South a lot. I've met I think like 2 people that are like from the UK so you stand out. And people love the accent. So but with that, there are certain things that how do I say this? There are certain strengths and advantages that come with having a British accent.
Really?
Yeah. Like people love it. People see it as like some sense of like a royalty. I get that a lot.
Just because she has a British accent.
I'm telling you. So it helps a lot. I also think it's like our perspective and outlook on life. When you're from London and it's such a diverse...
I love that about London, yeah.
Yeah. Like you grow up like learning about every culture. So you're exposed to so many different situations. You know how to have conversations and communicate with different kinds of people. Even if they don't look like you. And that's so important.
Yeah.
When you're stepping out, like in new places, you need to know, you need to be able to hold conversations with different people, especially people that don't look like you. Because sometimes they have the resources or the support that you need. I think also, like, even the ability, like, the London and, like, the transport system, like, the ability just to be able to move around, like, that ability just to like, it's like kind of like just having a get up and go mentality, even within London. It means that you're constantly evolving. You're constantly stepping into new situations and seeing new opportunities, and you're less fearful of different things, which is super helpful as well. And then the pound, like, our currency, when you go to different places, you can get a lot more for your money. So yeah. But then I think on the flip side, again, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, you have to really understand there are certain places that, like, it's just better breeding grounds for it. There's different places. And I think that was it for me when I really first started going to America. Because I struggled to see a lot of women. Now, more and more, you're seeing a lot of, like, founders who are creating content and showing their journeys. But I struggled. And I would just watch a lot of people in the US. I just found like they're bold, they go after what they want, they like making money. Yeah. Like, so for me, it was just...
Do you think you'll move there permanently?
100%. Give me a year. Max.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even hold back that no more. I'm like, it's not even out. No, 100%.
Yeah. I'm glad I got you while you're here.
Yeah, 100%. In the next year, I will be there.
Yeah.
But I still...
There's an event I want to go to in Atlanta in August.
Oh!
And I'm like, I don't know.
What event?
It's called a podcast summit.
Oh, you should.
Do you know David Shands? Oh, so I've been following his podcast for a really long time. Him and Donnie Wiggins.
Okay.
And they're like my favorite podcasters. And they did their first summit in Miami 2 years ago, and I went to that.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
You
It's
should
the
go.
best. Yeah. So now they're doing their third one, and it's going to be in their hometown, which is Atlanta. And I was like, something's calling me to Atlanta, but I don't know why.
You should. Oh my gosh, if you're there in August, I'm gonna be there. So yeah, yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna go back in July. So yeah, you should come.
Okay.
Atlanta, can you drive?
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
No, but I've never driven in America.
But you could drive
Their
like.
cars are too big.
No, their lanes
Their
are big.
roads are so big.
They're like it's so crazy. When I'm coming back, right? So came back today, and I'm looking at the roads, and I'm like, these cars are going so slow as well. Because but before that, I'm like, this is fast.
Yeah.
No, because their minimum is like 35 an hour per 35, but everyone's just and Atlanta driving is a bit crazy, but
Yeah.
and their lanes are just like.
Yeah, every time I go to America, I'm just like, the cars and the lanes are like 3 times the size of the UK.
Yeah, maybe I've never seen the car. Maybe the car sizes maybe.
Yeah, the cars are bigger over there. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm scared.
No, if you can drive, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. If I can drive, and I've started. Yeah, like you can definitely fine.
Yeah, I saw your story. So can you not drive, or you can drive?
I have a full UK license.
Yeah.
But I haven't used it since 2019.
Oh, okay.
So I'm learning, but now I can drive. I did like my last yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was there, I traveled. I think yesterday was Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday. I went to church with a GPS. I'm proud.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm proud. So yeah, I can travel. I can drive now. I think I'll do a few more. I did a trip by myself as well. Places. Yeah. So,
Okay. Fine.
do it.
So in
Go.
August, I might see you in Atlanta.
Yeah. Love that.
What is your like plan for the next like 2 to 5 years with She Who?
I love that. So definitely I will be relocating Jesus' name to Atlanta. So I really want to relocate there. I want to bring out so many different other products. Like planners, like there's going to be so many different things coming, which I'm really excited for. I want to do more pop-up events as well. And then I really want to grow the community.
Yeah.
Grow the community, offer more value, and keep on sharing my journey as a Brit in the US, building and learning. Yeah, because it's a whole new ball game. But definitely more product, more experiences, more good times, just more elevating.
Oh, I love it. I'm excited for you. Okay, so I normally finish my interviews with the Woman Up wrap up, which is just 4 questions I ask everyone.
Cool.
So the first one is, tell me something about you that no one really knows. It can be like something quirky, something funny, something mysterious, anything that you don't really talk about that much.
What is something that no one knows about me that could be interesting? Oh, I like to nap a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, I am a serious napper, as in like I can take a nap, and it's like it was really bad. Sometimes it's really bad because if I'm really tired and I tend to be like tired at nighttime, I could be in full conversation and the next minute I'm like, there could be a music band in here. You could be making all the noise and I'm gone.
I love that.
I'm a napper. One thing you want to know about me, hey Victoria, I can nap. I love a good nap.
So you could be like at an event just in the corner.
Yep. Oh, yes. Yes. And that's why I think sometimes I struggle with 9 to 5, because sometimes when people talk at the same pace for such a long time, like I can...
Yeah.
Goes off.
Yeah. Okay, would you rather go back in time and give advice to your younger self, or meet your future self and hear what she has to say?
Oh. But I think... that is such a good question. I think kind of future self. But then, yeah. Future self, because maybe she might just tell me calm, like, you're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Because go back in time, you can't really change anything. The future self, that means that is who she is. I want to see what she's doing. All of us are not happy. I will be happy with her. Yeah, future self probably.
Okay. If we have another conversation a year from now, what is one main thing that you want to have achieved by then?
I want to be in America. I think that's what I would want to say. I want to achieve by then. Like full, like relocate.
Yeah. Oh.
And I think that's.
Would it be Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to end up in Miami though.
Oh, really?
That's my dream.
Is Atlanta quite expensive?
Compared to London, well, okay, so take out the fact that you need to drive everywhere. So the cost of having a car is quite expensive, and then rent. Yeah, I think so. I think it's on board. London isn't London more expensive? I think London is more expensive. Atlanta's.
And then Miami's even more expensive.
Yeah. Then New York. Oh wait, no. Then it's LA. Then New York.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one is, if you had to describe this season of your life as a song, a book title, or a movie, what would it be?
Ooh, she got the clarity she needed.
Oh.
Yeah, I think like there's just like it's just so clear.
Yeah.
Like the road is now so clear. Like especially coming back, just on what I should be doing. I've tried experimenting, so many different things, spending time out, spending time by myself, thinking about everything I've done to this point. And it's like everything has made sense to this point.
I love that. Even when it doesn't make sense, it eventually
Literally makes sense.
Yeah.
And you look back, and then sometimes it's like, so I'm editing a YouTube video at the moment for like my recap of my time in America. And I was just like looking back at some of the times I was stressing in the video, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you stressing? It's actually gonna work out, and it's not too that deep as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, always
love
works
that.
out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been amazing getting to know you a bit better and seeing like your journey. I'll obviously put all the links and everything to your journal and everything in the description. But if you could leave us with like one thing, what would it be?
You have the ability really to create the life of your dreams. Like, but it is the daily actions. It is the daily actions, and don't stop doing, don't stop trying, don't stop thinking, don't stop. Even if you're like, this is not making sense, trust me. If you haven't been doing it like more than 20 years, you can't give up. You have to keep on going. Pivot, learn, change, adapt, grow, speak to someone, get their advice, ask the right questions, but keep on going.
Thank you so much.
You're
It's been amazing having you. Guys, don't forget, like, comment, do all the things, share it on your socials. It really, really helps more women to find these conversations. And I will obviously see you guys next week. But thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's it for another episode of the Woman Up podcast. Thank you for spending time with us. It really means the world. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please take a second to follow the show and leave us a review. It really helps more women to find these conversations. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And also leave us a comment if anything in the episode resonated with you. We love, love, love to hear from you. Even better still, feel free to share this episode and tag us on your socials. Of course, I will see you right here next week for more real talk, sisterhood, and conversations that actually matter. Until then, keep going, keep growing, and woman up.